Okay, welcome everybody to this wonderful call where we have Laura Murphy. Hi, Laura.
Hi everybody. Hi, Pamela. Thanks for having me here.
Oh
I
my
really
goodness.
appreciate
We
it.
are honored to have you, Laura. And I want to thank Lisa Debates, who is our co-host. She's going to be letting people in as they come. And I want to thank all of you for joining us. This is really going to be, this is the launch day of Painting with Fire Volume 5. And we're going to be hearing from Laura all about how this even got started. We'll hear from some people who've been taking year 1, year 2, year 3. And so I want to welcome everybody. Thank you, Laura. And do you have anything to say just on the day of the launch here?
Um, it's been a crazy day, but it's really it's so busy already. It's pretty amazing. So yeah, so
Well, we
I'm
we
just
don't want to keep
really
you
looking
for,
forward to another year.
yes, and
Oh no, I'm delighted to be here, Pam. I really am. This is lovely. I just
well,
love the community that's kind of built up around this whole thing as well.
it's
And I think there's nothing about it that I don't enjoy.
good. Well, you're doing what you love and you're so good at it, and you've opened everything to the world. So with that, I want to share my screen and we'll get over to the little presentation we have here. All right, let me hit that. And I really want to, encourage you guys to ask any questions. That's one of the things we're doing is make sure we answer your questions because we're sure you have some. Let me grab my cursor here. I guess I'll skip that for now because I can't see it. Whoops. Okay, first of all, Laura Murphy and her husband Lars of Essence of Morani. And I really wanted to hear more from Laura about how she got started with her school and painting with fire. Would you like to share that, Laura?
I would because I actually think it's quite an interesting story. You've been to Mulranny, Pam, and you've been up to the original house and studio, and that is owned by a woman called Cheryl Coburn Brown, who is South African, but met a man from Mulranny when she was living in Phoenix, and she's an artist and a glass worker and all that kind of stuff, and she loved when they came to visit Ireland, she absolutely fell in love with it and she wanted to move back here. And eventually they did. But she always had this dream of starting an art school. And so it was fairly, it was something that was fairly small scale. But she did have people coming from different parts of the US mostly. And then she had a poet there, a woman called Kim Rosen, and one of her students, one of the people who came for the poetry workshop was an encaustic painter. And she gave Cheryl a piece of wood, just a long, narrow piece of wood. And Cheryl was absolutely enthralled by it and was determined to find out how she could learn how to do this because she recognized that it was, something she would love to have in her mixed media toolbox. And so she got in touch with me. I was living in Denmark at the time, but I was giving classes in Cork, which is in the south of Ireland. And she signed up for this class, and that's how I met her. And then she invited me to go to Mulranny to teach. And I fell in love with the place when I got there. And that's kind of, that's what happened. But I think the most amazing part of this story is um, that woman who gave her the piece of wood. I hope everybody can follow this. But the woman who gave her the piece of wood with the encaustic was called Anne Wright, who actually is a teacher in
Oh,
this year.
nice.
But so Anne Wright, I met her when I went to the Encaustic conference in Provincetown. And so she was standing at the desk, checking in. And and I'm pretty shy. So I was there getting out of the taxi and I thought, okay, I'm going to be really friendly to whoever I meet. And Anne was there at the desk. So I was, of course, oh, hello, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. And then I did something which I would never normally do. I said, "Oh, do you want to meet in the bar later for a drink?" And she did. And so we started talking, blah, blah, blah. And I found out, and that's how it all, isn't
Oh,
that amazing?
it's a
I mean,
wonderful
of
story.
all the people to meet, and then she had given this piece of wood. I mean, it's so Cheryl has written a story about it now called The Gift.
Oh,
And, and how this simple act of kindness has had such a huge knock-on effect because here we are now with this great big school, and painting with fire and all these teachers coming, and we have an encaustic element and we have a glass element, and the whole thing has just kind of blossomed.
Well,
Uh,
oh, thank you. I
so
knew there
so
was a
that's how I ended up in Mulranny.
well, I knew there's a big story, but I had never really heard the whole thing. So thank
Yeah,
you for sharing.
yeah. And but it's, you know what? It's all wrapped in around encaustic. So I always think encaustic has been, the catalyst for really like most of the good things in my life. Um,
Yeah.
it's really kind of remarkable, really, isn't it? But
Yes.
if it hadn't been for that piece of wood, I mean, sure, I would never have kind of pursued that idea. I would not have visited here.
Sure.
And
Isn't it funny when you think back like that? If this hadn't happened or that
yeah,
hadn't
like
happened.
these little threads that happen. And anyway, Anne, so Anne Wright is a creativity coach and a life coach, and normally works with executives and stuff like that. And so this year she's part of Painting with Fire, which I think is another amazing element
That's
to
such a
have.
treat. That's such a treat. When you said that, I was like, well, who is it? I want to know who that is.
Yeah, oh,
All
she's
brand new.
terrific. I
Okay.
mean, she's really world class. So to have that as part of it, I think because I think a lot of people at this point are ready as well to think about, well, what's the next step and where
Right.
do I go from here? I know I have so much, so many techniques, so much skill now.
Yeah.
What is the next step? And so,
Oh,
yeah,
fabulous. Okay. Well,
yeah,
with that and your beautiful husband, Lars, please say hello
yeah,
to him.
I will.
I love
Yeah,
your colors in that photo.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to proceed to the next slide, and we got another person trying to get in. All right, we move this up here. Okay,
Yep, I'm getting them.
thank you, Lisa. Okay, so we have a wonderful group of artists, teachers this year, and Laura just spoke of one of them. And notice how many there are. There are 27. And Laura, if you want to expand on, you've got some new teachers, some returning teachers, and then you're one of the teachers. Laura's right here. Yay. I'm
Yeah.
over here. Yeah. Any comments about the teachers this year as a whole?
Well, we have a photographer. You see Shawnee here at the top with the hat on. He's actually the only man in it, but he's a very well-known videographer and photographer. And so I thought, we all love photo encaustic, or we love the idea of trying this. But if you don't have great photos,
Yeah,
then no matter how you embellish or whatever you do with it. Yeah,
you're right.
so he's going to teach us all how to take great photos. He's really quite brilliant. And so whether it doesn't matter what kind of a camera you have, or whether you're using an iPhone or that kind of thing, he's going to teach us all how to take terrific photographs. So when we work with them, or we do image transfer, or we do photo encaustic, or whatever it is we do, we're going to have great images to use in
Oh,
that.
wow, what a
Uh,
valuable class. That one class alone sounds like it's worth the entire fee.
Absolutely. Yeah, he is really top notch. He was our videographer in Egypt and in Nepal, and he's been here in Ireland at the conferences, the IEA conference that we did here.
Wow.
Uh, yeah, he's terrific. And yeah, there's some really, really amazing teachers. And then we have another woman who is she's also a photographer and encaustic painter, but she is going to teach us how to take really good photographs of our work.
Oh, that's
So
good.
it's
Yeah.
totally different what he's doing, but
Yes.
it's, there's a whole science behind that. And I mean, I have not kind of, mine are always hit and miss. So I'm really looking forward to learning how to take proper photos, so that and also how to catalog your work and things like that. So you kind of, I think it's the next step for a lot of us, that we need to
Yes.
we move into being professional artists and stuff like that, that we need to be professional about how we present and how we apply for galleries and all that kind of stuff. So
It's
yeah,
amazing how many, it's not enough just to create the art, is it? There's so
yeah,
many
exactly.
prongs that, yeah, come away from that. So,
Yeah.
8 teachers this year, 27 in total, 54 total stellar lessons, and registration's open right now. It opened today. And I just want to, draw your attention to some of the things. This is from Laura's webpage, where you're going to come and see all the very same information if you decide to enroll. but she had these key details. Number one, $249 is a great discount, an early bird discount, and it's good through
Because
April.
you get all of the lessons for that. It's really terrific, isn't
Everything. Yeah, a whole year. I mean, you can't, that's the cost of one teacher.
it?
I
Yeah.
mean, you're getting the whole thing, and it's lifetime access. Begins April 23rd, goes for the whole year. New classes released every Wednesday. Lifetime access. Each lesson by each instructor here at least an hour long, and go at your own pace. There are bonuses, basic instructional videos if you're brand new to this or just want a refresher, exclusive discounts. I noticed that today on the website with on some supplies, right, Laura?
Yes. Yeah, we always have the suppliers on board, and they give really substantial discounts, and
Wow.
lots of bonuses in that
Okay.
regard.
And then plus get access to select recorded lessons from the in-person Encaustic art retreats at Essence of Morani. And I was so privileged to have that experience last year with Laura and all the students. So thank you guys so much for being here. And we hope that you enjoy this presentation. And please ask questions. You've got Laura, who is the creator of this entire thing. And we are so grateful to have her here. I just wanted to talk a little bit. I'm one of the instructors, and
Excuse me, Pam.
yeah,
We do have one question if you're ready
sure,
for one.
sure.
Somebody asked, is there a list of the names of the teachers anywhere?
Oh, yes, there
Yeah,
are.
yes,
Yeah,
Yeah.
right
if
there on the webpage. Yeah.
yeah, this is
And
actually
could I just say as well, Pam, I am so, so, so excited for your class
oh,
working like when scaling way, way up. I mean,
yeah.
nobody knows how to do that.
Well, I mean, neither did I, to be honest. When I
But
say,
you're cutting out all of that. I mean, we have to try different things, and we have to, and all of that is sort of cut out because then you're going to show us how to do it
well,
without
very
all the
funny.
mistakes and the waste of materials and that kind of thing. So
Yes.
it's really phenomenal you're doing that.
Oh, well,
It's
Lori, you
a
can
brilliant
hope. You
concept.
can hope. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna shed some light on that experience. But
Yeah.
anyways, I wanted to show you that I've been
It's
painting for
beautiful.
a long time, since 2008 in encaustic, and it is really one of my favorite mediums. I paint in four mediums consistently, but I have to say when I do this one, it feels the most like natural to me, and I don't really know why that is. But I am rather an impatient person, so I think there's something about the immediacy of wax cooling rather than waiting for oils to dry. Like I just, I love
Yeah,
that fact, right? Um,
me too. Yeah.
yeah,
That's
this,
huge.
yes,
And even acrylics, they just seem to be, they take so long to dry that
right.
but then there's the meatiness of the texture as well. There's just so much
I
uh,
agree. There's,
so
what, and
tactile.
the first time I saw it in caustic, I didn't know what in the world it was, and it turned out to be one of Nicholas Wilton's. And I called him, and he actually picked up the phone. This is like years ago, and he's like, "Well, I don't really do encaustic anymore." So there's that. But I just want to say that up until the commission I will be talking about in Painting with Fire, Volume 5, this was the largest piece I'd done, and this is 4 feet by 6. So it's not like I'd
Mhm.
never done a large one, but this
Yeah.
one actually was like, if you look at the top part here, that's the way the entire piece was, and it didn't sell. And then I brought it home and it melted in the truck. And I thought, okay, and it melted because the gallery put plastic over the top, and the wax melted because of the plastic. And I didn't want to say to the gallery, like, hey, my piece just melted. So rather than scrap it, I let it sit there for a while, and then I just redid it and it sold. So
Wow, it's absolutely beautiful. The
thank
color is
you. Well,
magnificent.
that one I was pleased with, but these are just from here and there. This is one of the earliest ones I ever did, and yeah, I just love like shape and color and all those things. So the thing about Painting with Fire this year is that it coincided with me being approached by this brand new and gorgeous hospice center in Missoula, Montana, where I have to say I toured this facility, and it touched my heart to hear how loved, people who are going to be patients there who are near the end of their life are going to have not, their own room, but they can have their family there. Their family can sleep there. Their grandchildren can play in the playroom. They have a kitchen where they can all cook together, have meals together. I mean, talk about celebrating the end of life. I came home and I was just blown away by their mission. And I really just started looking at all the work I'd done and looking at the colors at their facility. I took a few photos like this and I started to think about it. And that day I sent back this image. Actually, it was supposed to be a diptych. It was supposed to be 14 feet wide, but then there's a story behind what happened. The main anyways, I'm not going to go too much into that, but anyways, it went from one room to the entryway, and the entryway could only support one image or one 7-foot piece, so I worked on one instead of two panels, and that dictated my colors, which I got from Encausticos. And then here's my little palette over here. So yeah, I 3.5 feet by 7 feet. You know, I have a cradle panel that I'm going to be showing in the series. It's actually a 6-part series that I'm going to provide for Painting with Fire this year. And so I'm going to go over those parts so that you know how I've divided this one video. I think it came out to be an hour and a half long. So part one is all about my studio setup. Plus, now
Wow.
I began it with 2 beeswax layers, and I know a lot of people maybe don't do that, but that's how I was taught. And I even
Mhm.
reached out to Laura while I was doing this, and I was like, "Hey,
Yeah,
Laura," and
works beautifully.
yeah, I mean, it's cheaper, number one. And
Yeah.
the gal that taught me in Caustic in 2008, that was her reason. She said, well, it's cheaper. You don't need
Yeah.
to have the damn R in there. So that's kind of what I still do, whether it's big or small. And then,
Perfect bond. It's the
yeah.
perfect bond of the wax and the wood. So
Oh, yeah,
works.
yeah. That makes total sense. Yeah, it's going to bond with the wood. And this shows the back of the cradle panel, and that's pretty important. And I talk about the plywood top, which, it really needs to be like a 1/4 inch to support this size. You don't want to have an 1/8 inch anymore. So here I am applying the beeswax layers, and then here's my table setup, which I kind of talk a lot about in the video series. So I'm not going to go into too much detail here because I want you guys to get into the course and see the whole thing. Okay, so and here's just some sample techniques in the 6-part series, again, all for painting with fire. I used a lot of tape because I wanted a sense of geometry. So if you've never done that, it's not a real trick. It's just, something I did. And then yeah, the amazing thing about encaustic is that you're going to find in painting with fire with every single instructor. I mean, there are so many things you can do with this medium. I mean, Laura does these gorgeous portraits and she uses microcrystalline wax. And you can incorporate things like these dry mediums on the surface, or they can get incorporated. Glazing is a really important attribute, I'd say, of the encaustic process. And so when I was in Ireland, we all made these color swatches, the warm swatches and the cool. And so glazing was like probably the most important thing in this entire piece. So I do talk about that. And then part two is, now, what do you do after the beeswax? Well, I went into opaque and transparent white. And the reason for that is, notice the color of the wood. The color of the wood can greatly impact how your colors look when you put them on, especially if they're transparent. So you can either put on, RNF encaustic gesso or chalk paint that's white. But in this case, I wanted to use white wax. So I chose that option, but I wanted to have both transparent and opaque. And I talk about that and, how did I make it transparent and things like that. Part three is all about texture. I mean, we all know, if anyone has done encaustic, and in chat, you guys might want to let each other know, are you a beginner to encaustic? Have you never done it before? Are you intermediate or advanced? We'd love to know. So please use the chat to just say, hey, I'm a beginner, or I'd like to learn. The thing about encaustic, I think that kind of comes with the territory, just like, say, some other mediums like cold wax and oil, those two mediums are very much easy to get texture. You don't have to try very hard, because when the wax cools on the surface, you automatically, without doing anything, have created a lot of texture. So in the process, each artist decides, do I want a lot of texture, a medium amount of texture, or do I want it really smooth? And these tools here I have I've chosen them pretty specifically for this piece because they are some of my favorites, and I didn't want too much, so I really had to choose. I have a chain, and I have some of these gouging tools, and then I use this little guy, which turned out to be a fun tool to use. So yeah, texture, the wax can be warm or it can even be cool, but you just press tools into the surface, and then you can work paint into the little divots that happen, and you get these remarkable effects. And I also love, I have charcoal here, but actually I use graphite powder, and you will see that in one of the stages right here. This is my famous ugly stage. I'm more famous for, I think, the ugly stages of everything I do, because I champion the ugly stage. I would like to think of myself as a promoter of the ugly stage, because it's the mindset. I always have to trick my left brain into leaving the studio and leaving me alone, and nothing will get it to leave faster than the ugly stage. It's very easy to get there. Well, not necessarily. Sometimes it actually can be kind of hard. I get it to be ugly by playing. Playing is so important to me. It wouldn't matter if it was a commission piece or something in my sketchbook. I really like the ugly stage because it forces me to become a problem solver. So I spend quite a bit of time in this stage. That's part 4. Part 5 is when I start to you can notice that it all of the oil stick, the oil paint. I tried to use a lot of things just to kind of demonstrate that you could do it, and graphite powder. I'm actually dumping it out here, and I'm spraying it around. You can see here I've removed most of it, but what's left is what went into these little nooks and crannies, any lines that were gouged. Now, part 5 is where I start to apply warm and cool glazes. Again, my color palette was warm and cool, so blues and oranges based on what I saw at the hospice center. Being a commission piece, it's not the same as, completely painting for yourself. There are guidelines, and this was the largest piece I'd ever done. And it needs to fit in a center that has a real um, environment, purpose. It's not a museum, it's not a home, it's not, so it matters like how this is going to come across to the patients. And so I had to tone down a lot of my marks. As you know, I'm kind of a mark maker. So I had to really think about calm, calm. All right. And then the last part 6, is all about clarify. And anybody who's taken my courses knows that early on, again, to kind of trick my mind into being able to even create art at all, I had to say, okay, you're playing now, and then you're exploring, which means, you're kind of growing up a little bit, and now you're a teenager, and now you go on to clarify where you have to grow up and become the adult. And this is the part where you do the most amount of editing. In this particular piece, I did scrape back large sections to quiet them down. And then I used a lot of dry media like these pan pastels to, make lights darker, make darks lighter, make oranges more gray, make blues more blue, whatever it was. And then I used woodies, which are made by Stabilo, and Neocolor 2s. What else? Inktense. So I talk a lot about this in the video series. So that's all. Does anyone have any questions about that, first of all, before we go on? Lisa?
Let's see here. We have a couple of people that are brand new to Encaustic, actually 3.
Oh, great.
So that's all. Nobody's put anything in there.
Okay,
Feel
great.
free to-
Great.
Yeah.
We'll keep going because
Okay.
there's time for Q&A at the end, you
Yeah.
guys. All right. So if you use my special instructor link, sorry, because each of us has our own unique affiliate link. That's how this works. And so if you use my specific link to sign up, and that's pretty important that you do that, because every year people don't realize that you can't really just go to, say, Essence of Mulroney and sign up and then get this free course. I created this course during Painting with Fire 2021, and that was the first year I did Painting with Fire. That was the first year that they had it. And I just kind of thought to myself, well, if I was doing this, I'd really want to have like all the basics. I want to know everything about encaustic to prepare me for this amazing painting with fire. And so that's when this thing was born. And that's what on the left-hand box here, I offered all of this for free back in whenever that was, 2021 and 2022, I guess. How to make your own encaustic medium. That's a cost savings thing. How to make your own encaustic paints. Again, save money. How do you prime your surface with the initial layers of wax? What do you use for mark making tools? How do you set up an encaustic palette? How do you make glazes? And then how do you care for an encaustic painting? So that was kind of the gist of what was there. And then 2 years later, I added some special effects techniques, and that was when I did Painting with Fire 2023. And that brought the value of the course up to $250 just based on the hours of content. And I just felt like, hey, if I'm going to do Painting with Fire, I want to add something to this Encaustic Basics course. So it became Encaustic Basics course plus special techniques. And the current price as of today is $250, but you get all of this for free if you use my special affiliate link. And the special techniques were intarsia, using XD-Demar, which creates like these little glass windows, parchment paper transfer, pastel and Sorel transfer paper for finishing touches, jaunting tool, and how do you get really good adhesion with collage paper. So I added that. Now I want to show you that this year I'm adding quite a bit more to this course, and it's now the value of it is $450 based on the amount of content, and I do sell a lot of online courses, so this is all kind of uh, weighted on the number of hours, number of PDFs, etc., number of videos. So if you enroll, this is my personal affiliate link. So please know that if you want this free course and all the bonuses worth $450, you must use my link, and it's right here. Now, this redirects over to Laura's site, which is Essence of Mulroney. When she gets your enrollment, she tells me via email, and then I enroll you into the free encaustic course. So a lot of people in the beginning said, well, wait a minute, I'm not seeing your encaustic course. Well, that's because this takes you to the Painting with Fire. It's a two-step process. First, you enroll here, and then you get a separate email from me saying, hey, I just enrolled you in my free encaustic course. So here's the free basics course right here with special effects. That was the original standalone. It's still a standalone course. However, this year, my son was actually visiting while I started this large scale painting for the hospice center, and he's a photographer. So I had so many hours of video. I'm going to actually be adding many, many bonus videos to this original course. And it's going to bring the value up to $350. But that's not all, because I'm also going to be holding at least 4 live Zoom Q&A calls throughout Painting with Fire 2025 and 2026. Number 1 for questions. Number 2 for people sharing their work, talking about their work. Maybe they're stuck. And number 3, I'll be doing occasional demos, especially on demand. If you guys need something in clearer detail, I will be able to hopefully show you that. And that's a $100 value. So that's how I came up with this $450 in free bonuses. But let me talk more about the new bonus videos. Like, what are they? So again, if you enroll at my special affiliate link, again, you have to use this link. If you just use another link, it's, other instructors have what they're offering. So each instructor has something to offer, and you just have to decide what you'd like to do. So new bonus videos added to the free course, which is a $100 value, include how to remove wax from the back of your painting, because especially when you work large scale, this being a 7-foot long painting, I taped the sides, but I had a ton of wax on the back side, and I have a really easy way, and it worked really well. Not just the back, but the sides. I didn't even mention the sides, but I can show you that as well. And then how do you finish the top edge of your painting to prevent chipping and cracking? Now you may think, if you're new, you aren't aware, and if you have been painting, it's like most likely you've experienced a little bit of chipping, And they're easy to fix, but it's even better if you don't have any at all, right? And there's a little trick to that. And then how do you get a super smooth encaustic surface? Now, that's not something everybody wants, but that's something I strive for. And I'd say I spend more time making this surface smooth than I do applying paint. Applying the paint, that's kind of the fun and easy part. But, if you have time and the desire to get a smooth surface, I will show you how. And then the piece will be installed either end of March or sometime in April, and that will be documented and put as a bonus video also in the course. And I just wrapped all this up and said, okay, this is about $100 value for this content. Now, this will not be in Painting with Fire because this is above and beyond, it's going into my private encaustic course, which again, you would get if you use this link when you enroll, and it will be part of my encaustic course. So are you ready? That's the question. We want to hear if you guys have questions because we'd love for you to join Painting with Fire Volume 5. And just know that if you like it, you can also enroll in Painting with Fire 2021, 22, 23, 24. They're all there. And if you decide to get them, you have lifetime access, and you have access to each year has different instructors. Some instructors return, but Laura is great at lining up, filling up the workshop with instructors as they can provide content. Now, early bird pricing, this is really, really important. You get a great discount. Look at the difference in price. You're saving $40 if you sign up before April 22nd. After that, and forever on, it's $289. So, and this price is ridiculously low. I mean, this should be a $500 thing or $750 for what you're getting. I don't know how Laura does this and keeps it so low, but it's affordable. And it's amazing what you get. And we're going to hear from some of you who've been in it so that we can, well, is it just me saying this, or do we have students who've actually done this? Again, to receive my Encaustic Basics course, plus special effects, plus the new bonuses this year, $450 value, you must enroll using my instructor link, and really no exceptions, because this has happened in the past where people would just enroll wherever and then come back to me and say, well, where's my course? And I'd say, well, did you use my link? And if I don't hear from Laura, she's the only one who can confirm that you used my link. Okay, so that's how that works. Now, once you enroll with my special link, Laura Murphy will email me confirming your enrollment using my link, and then I will enroll you for free in my Encaustic online course. So, any questions? Because I think that's the last slide. Yes.
Yes, actually, the biggest question is, can you click on your link and show us what it looks like? Because a couple people have clicked on it and it doesn't say anything about you, so they're not sure they're clicking on your link.
Yes, let me just get out of this presentation. This happens all the time, so don't worry. And this, you guys, this is assuming I did things right, and that's a big if. So I'm just going to go to share and grab a new place here. Okay, so here's my link, www.pwf25.com. This is known as a redirect link. A lot of you have signed up for my waiting list, and this pointed to the waiting list until today. And then today at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, when the course opened, I had to go into the domain and redirect it. So when you hit enter, I'm hoping that you guys will see. Yes, there it is. Okay. Isn't that a miracle?
Really amazing.
Well, it's amazing when tech works, you guys. I can't tell you how nervous I was that, like, I don't know where it's going to take you. But look,
Thanks.
this is what I showed you, all the lovely instructors. There's Laura. And I know Gabriella. I met her in Mexico. There I am. I know several of these instructors, and they're all amazing. And the new ones, I can't wait to see their videos. And then what else?
Someone asked about a coupon code. Is there a coupon code to put in?
No, don't
No
need it.
coupon code. Great, great.
Don't need it. Nope, Laura's made it easy for you. Look at all the glorious work. Look at this work. It's all different, right? And each instructor, like right here, Elizabeth has these amazing encaustic tools. She makes them herself. She sells them. Here's Gabriella's work. Where's Laura's work? Laura's up here. Oh, she's down here. She does portraiture. Gorgeous portraits. Oh my gosh. Her portraits, I saw them in Ireland. There was one in the room where we all had lunch and dinner, and they're huge and they are just like breathtaking. I'm sorry, but a photograph just does not do it justice. It's incredible to see it in life.
Wow.
So there you go. And you scroll down here, there's a little person working here, and maybe that's you, Laura. That's you.
That's me.
I
Yeah,
know.
my course from last year.
The
I was
fine,
using that's casein paint, which is there's so many things that are compatible with encaustic. But I
incredible.
always think, Pam, this is an ancient medium and we're finding new ways of working with it all the time.
Yes.
And so that's what's so exciting.
Look
And
at
each
this.
each instructor will have a different
Yeah.
take on things and it'll be tried and tested and we know they work. So it's so exciting.
Yeah, when I saw you do this, in your studio, which was off our studio, and it was incredible to see all the things that you were doing. Now, here, if you guys want to meet the teachers, look, there's even a section here we can get to know each one, including the 8 new ones. There's Anne Wright that Laura was talking about.
Creativity coach, yeah.
I love how you did these cutouts this year.
Oh, thank you.
Very clever. Who can join? All skill levels. Here it says, I'm ready to sign up. Here again are the details I showed you in the slide presentation. So all you have to do is click right here and look how easy it is. No coupon is necessary. And I mean, you guys, honestly, this is such a low, low price. This would be how much one instructor's video would be worth. But again, I don't know, Laura, how you do this, but it's an incredible offer. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, I think it works for everybody, and the thing is then it doesn't expire. You can go back into these videos 5 years, from now and be able to 10 years uh, and
Yeah.
be able to click on the videos and we also use a platform that has it's searchable. So if there's a particular technique that you were interested in but you can't remember where you saw it, you can put it into the search box and then the video will or the results will show you in which video it was and where it was and how often it was used, things like that.
Yeah.
So
Isn't that's a Searchy, right? You're using Searchy?
yeah, I love that platform. It's
Yeah.
really great.
I
Yeah.
use it too, and I'm very, very grateful for that. Now, can we hear from Claudia again? Because she has taken several years. I don't know if I'm putting you on the spot, Claudia, but if you'd like to unmute and just add your voice to this conversation, we'd love to hear from you. Here she is. Oh, could you unmute, please, Claudia?
There, I just sent you the thing.
Okay. Um, I did. Okay. I've taken it from the beginning of time, which has been like the best experience I've ever had. I do take lots of courses, different art classes, and painting with fire. It's like every Wednesday I look forward to getting it. It's like a special present that I get, and I get to open it and see it when I want and revisit other instructors if I'm doing some work and I'm like, okay, let me just go back. That in itself is such a treat, and it's really priceless to have that because I've taken other classes where the you're allowed to see the lesson for a period of time and then it's gone. And by being able to go back and refer to things is really, it's just incredible. If I knew other artists who were into encaustic as much as I am, but anytime I know that there is someone, I'm like, are you on Painting with Fire? Because it's absolutely fantastic.
Well, we really appreciate you saying that, Claudia. And I really appreciate, I know whenever we have like a Zoom call, almost always your questions about encaustic and how do I sort of incorporate what you're talking about into encaustic. And so I've always appreciated the fact that, it is an unusual medium.
Mhm.
But all the elements of, design and color still apply. So yeah, thank you very much for sharing that with us.
Well, you again, you're really such a guru, and your teaching style is, I can't say enough of it, Pam. You work so hard and you're so thorough and you're so professional that again, your all your classes that I've taken, anything that you've offered is just incredible, and I'm really grateful for you and for Laura for setting these up. So I love it, even though I don't like being on video, but I do love it.
Thank you. You're
I'm
the
gonna
best.
toss myself out.
You're such a sweetheart. Thank you, Claudia. We really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
No
Okay.
Thank
problem.
you,
No
Claudia.
problem.
So nice to hear from you. Anybody else who has taken, 1 year, multiple years, or anyone with a question? Let's open this up to everybody. Anyone like have doubts about how great painting with fire is at this point? Or are you kind of like, how many of you are interested in actually joining? Thinking about it or yes, okay, great. I'm not putting you on the spot or anything.
Terry, do you have a question?
Terry,
Yeah, hi.
hey.
I'm in couple of Pam's other classes, and yeah, I at first I want to add that I also think Pam is a wonderful teacher. I also think that if she thinks you are a wonderful teacher, then I can vouch for you as well, because Pam's a great teacher. She just teaches at a great pace. I think that she does her homework. She's always prepared. I, I don't know. I can't say enough wonderful things about her. I went to Santa Fe with her for her PDPC class, and I'm also in her ASM class. Both of the classes are stellar classes. I can't say enough about them. So I'm on board for this. I just had some questions about to the other person that was just talking, maybe, or to any of you. Since I'm already in those other classes, I've got some space put aside for acrylics and some space put aside for oils. How much space would I need for this? And like I'm gonna probably go ahead and read the class to see what types of supplies I'm gonna need. But how much space do you think I'm gonna need for this? Like a table is enough, or of course you can have a
Oh,
whole
yeah.
room, I'm sure, but like
That is
what's enough?
That's such an important question, and I'm sure
Mhm.
you can speak to that, and we can both speak to that. But why don't you go ahead and talk about that?
Me?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you like,
I
if you
think,
like.
yeah, absolutely. Hi. I
Hi.
think definitely a table is enough to start. I mean, for
Okay.
sure. You can get one of those Presto griddles and they work
Right.
beautifully. And then I use silicone. Actually, let me just show you real quick. I love these. So rather than using a metal container, I use these silicone cups and they
Okay.
can right on the griddle. And then when the wax, it just pops right out. Look at that.
Laura,
It's
those
amazing.
are different
It's
than the ones
so
that the little cupcake ones. Where'd you find those?
I'll ask Cheryl because she got them for me as a gift.
Those are nice.
I will find out. But
Yeah,
aren't they amazing?
yeah,
And
those
so
are nice.
then it's clean. And whereas with the metal, I mean, you do have to clean it out a little bit. It's not the end of the world, but I love these.
Um,
So yeah, and really, so a table then with your griddle,
Hmm.
either your torch or your heat gun. You don't
Yeah.
have to start off
I
with the
have a
torch.
heat gun, but the Presto griddle, can you
Yeah.
talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, they are. It's I think it's actually on the site,
Is it
and
okay? So there's a list on the site about
and
the
it's in
it's
my
on
supplies.
the
course,
site. Yeah.
Terry.
And
Yeah,
they're not expensive. They're like a pancake griddle kind of thing, and
Yeah.
they work beautifully. They're very. I
Great.
think Presto is the best brand, and that's why I mentioned that. I mean, I have
Perfect.
used other ones, but I
Yeah.
think that's kind of our favorite brand. And
Yeah.
then regards a torch, you can wait if you want to with that. Even after all these years of doing it, I'll use it kind of maybe spaced with my heat gun, or I'll use an embossing gun or something like that. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's absolutely necessary. And then ventilation, of course, is important. So maybe you want to put a little fan in your window to pull it out.
Yeah.
And that's really all you need to
yeah,
start. And a few
Okay.
colors in your wax.
Thank you.
But it's just such an amazing addition to your art toolbox,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
So,
And I am a mixed media artist, so I'm looking forward to having,
You're
I
gonna
just
oh,
love
can't get
this.
enough.
so incredible.
And
Yeah, you'll
Terry,
love.
just if you once you get the free Encaustic course from me, I go into like a lot of detail about how to set it up. And you'll
Yeah,
see
I'm
that I
sure.
started very humbly. Like I got all of my griddles from the thrift store.
I
And
know I haven't seen any. I've looked though, Pam, and I haven't found anything. I've been looking for since you said that for like a year. I've been looking. I think everyone's taking them for this very
Snapping them
thing,
up.
you know.
Yes.
either that or they're not cooking anymore. They're going
No,
out
oh
to dinner.
no, they're not cooking. They're using them all for art, but they're
Yeah,
not. They're
exactly.
not in the thrift stores
Well,
because of that.
for those of you who are in the US, I will, and I know maybe I heard this from you, Laura, but and there's a Costco, right, in the United States. And somebody was just telling me, yeah, a friend of mine, actually the woman who anyway, she's at the hospice center, but she said at Costco right now you can get a beautiful, it's like a it's just a food warmer, but it goes up
Oh, yes.
yes, and it's like 30 or
Roll
$40.
out.
Yes.
Are they good?
Yes.
Oh
And I
my God.
asked her,
I was
I
gonna
said to her,
compare.
do you have a Costco in Ireland?
No, we don't. We're so deprived. So
Well,
when I go there, I go crazy in the art supply places and
oh, is
I
that it right
just,
there? Is that
yes,
oh,
Tamara?
we're
Is that
Tamara
it?
stealing.
has it.
Oh
Tamara,
my
keep that
gosh.
on that, would you?
Is that from Costco?
That was actually Amazon. It's a little bit bigger than the Costco
Oh,
one,
look at that. It's
and
gorgeous.
it's
That
been
is beautiful.
fantastic.
Now you
Yeah,
can,
Which
they
one is
are
that?
fabulous.
And
I'll find the link. And where do you want me
Okay.
to put it?
yeah, well,
um,
you can
put it
put
in
it in
chat.
chat maybe.
Yeah.
Notice how
Okay.
she's got the silicone sitting on top because
Yeah.
it's a dark surface. Yeah,
Mhm.
look at that. Beautiful for mixing.
Cool.
It's
Yeah.
simple controls.
But
Wow, that is
one,
perfect.
yep. The one
And
at,
also great for monotypes.
yes.
Exactly. That's why I got it.
The one
Yeah.
at Costco, I asked Mary about whether it's even heating from, say, the left corner to the upper right corner. She says even heating everywhere. That's one thing a pancake griddle will never give you.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Wow, that's great though.
Thank you, Terry. Okay.
Thank you.
And
Anybody else have questions for either of us or anybody else? Because we want to let Laura go. She's probably had a very exhausting day. Poor thing.
Oh no, I'm fine.
Are you okay?
somebody
Yeah.
said in the comments that the one from Costco is a chef man. Chefman?
Jeffman? Okay. That's good to know.
I actually have it. I could hold up the box. I haven't taken it out of yet.
Oh, good, Lisa. Yeah, where's Lisa? Let me see if I
Okay,
can
wait,
add
let me
her.
get it. Let me get it.
Okay. Here's Lisa. I'm going to add her to Spotlight. Okay. Anyone else have anything to share? Any questions? Surely somebody has a question. No?
Well, let me say hi, Pam. I'm
Oh,
currently, yeah,
hi,
I'm in
Leslie.
South. Hi, sweetie. I'm in South Africa, as you know, but I'll be back next week.
Oh,
And I have a ton of questions. I'm giving up my job in June. I'll be finished.
right.
And so I just wanted to know the price of what you're charging. That is just for you doing the course, not for the all the rest of the teachers doing the course. Is that correct?
All these teachers are charging $249 for painting with fire. But if you use my link, which is the PWF25.com, you get my free course, as you know, and all the bonus stuff from this year. Does that make sense?
Okay, so you would be teaching me, not any of the
Oh
other
no,
teachers.
Oh, no,
Is
no,
everybody.
that
no.
correct?
You get everybody. Painting with
Everybody. You get
fire?
Oh, you
everybody.
do. Oh, okay.
Oh, yes,
All
you
right.
get everybody.
You get
Okay.
a class every single week. And then Pam
Okay,
would have
like last time.
class.
Yes, I did
Oh,
that last time.
then
Yeah.
you
So
know that.
one year I've done that.
Oh,
But
well,
you
you could
haven't been
do.
able to do it because I've been working
Okay,
as
well,
a
now.
teacher, an art teacher. But
Okay.
now I'm going to be giving up soon. So
Oh,
I
good.
look
Oh,
forward to
perfect.
working with you guys.
Yeah.
Good for
Yes.
you. Then you have a
Thank
lot
you.
of years to catch up on.
Oh, I do. I
Okay.
do. I
Thank
know.
you,
All
Leslie.
right. I will
All
see
right.
you back when I'm in the United States. Thank you.
Okay, sounds good. All right, guys, is it a wrap? Are we all
Well,
good?
there's a couple questions.
Okay.
One asks, will we have trouble with the wax yellowing? This is, I believe, somebody that's new.
Okay.
Mm-mm. No.
Well, I mean, wax has a little bit of a very faint yellowish cast. If you get the filtered, beeswax, it's going to be a little bit less yellow, but you just learn to work with that. If you don't like that, I mean, uh, for instance, if you put it over like a solar print, which is a little blue, Yeah, you just learn to add some XD-DMR to it to clarify it a little bit more. But wax by itself, if you look at a cake of wax, it's pretty opaque. But when you thin it down, it's very, very see-through. Okay.
Yeah, it's never a problem. You
If you
know,
go with unfiltered beeswax, that's pretty yellow. But I have some of that in my
yeah. But
and
if you're using that, I think that's probably part of your
part of it.
process. That's
Yes,
maybe a look that you want, and you have that whole. I mean, it's so sensuous to
yes,
have that with the smell and the shine and that sort of thing. So there are, there's kind of advantages maybe to using that as well. So it's just
exactly.
the whole,
Yeah.
yeah, practical
Yeah, the
thing.
more
All
yellow it is, the more aromatic it is.
Tamara put the link in the chat for the
Oh,
one on Amazon,
right.
and I don't do.
Oh, I
What?
mean, there's one on the Costco website. There's one there. I
Yes,
don't have the
that's
link
right.
handy, but I know if you go to the Costco website or just go there, you'll probably find a warming place.
It should be right there. It's Chef Man, the Costco one. So
Okay, anybody else? We really don't want to hold up Laura. I'm thinking about it's late for her. It's like
Oh
almost
no, don't
9
worry,
now.
you're fine. It's almost nine.
Okay.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Yes.
Who is that?
Laura, it's Claudia.
Oh, Claudia. Okay.
I lost her.
Laura, I know that you got those little cups as a present. Would you
Yeah.
be able to find out where
Sure.
Mhm. Yeah.
where and put it in the either the Facebook link or
Yeah.
Paint with Fire or wherever it's convenient?
Yep, I will, because
Thank you.
they're really nice because they're actually quite solid.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
have other ones that are much more, now you can certainly sit them on the hot plate, but you wouldn't be able to put a brush into the other type and let it sit there. But with this, you could,
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
those are
lovely.
nice.
you could, and it's solid enough that you could do that, but you can still, pop your wax out so easily.
Yeah,
I
no,
love it.
that's so
Isn't
much
it fabulous? I love them. I
That's
was so
great.
happy. And it's a nice size.
Yes.
Yes.
Really
Yes.
nice size.
And
That's
when you
But
grab onto it, it's not hot.
no, it's not hot.
That's
It's
the
an
other
absolute
factor.
game changer
yeah.
Yeah,
because,
that's
you don't need a whole pile of, cans then
yes.
because
Switch
you
'em.
can pop the disc out and then you can just
Yeah.
store the disc and change colors.
Yeah.
So
Huge.
really
Huge.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you. I
love it.
appreciate it.
That's
Yeah, no
helpful.
problem.
Great
Okay.
job again.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank
Claudia.
you.
Okay. All right, everybody. I think we should call it a good call, end of the call. Thank you so much, Laura.
Thank you so much for
Congratulations.
having me, Pam. Thank you, everybody. It was so nice to see these beautiful faces.
Yes, each one's a thumbnail, but we love our thumbnails. Okay, guys. Thank you all.
Okay.
Thank you, Lisa, for hosting. We'll see you
Okay.
all later, and we hope to see you in Painting with Fire Volume 5. Okay? Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye, Pam.
Bye,
Bye.
Laura. Love you.
Bye.